Hey everybody, Glenn Hausman here with another special report coming from the AAHOA floor. Yeah, I know, AAHOA is over. It's already been over a week or so, but what are you going to do? We got a lot of content and we got to take some time to put it out. Now I'm going to talk to one of my favorite people here in the business, a guy who's been way too nice to me over the years, Mr. Tom Magnuson, CEO of the aptly named Magnuson Hotels. How are you, my friend?
Fantastic, Glenn. It's great to be with you today.
It is so great to see you too. It's been too long. Could you do me a favor, pull in that microphone because I'd love to hear you a little bit better. You got such a great voice over there.
How's that? Is that okay?
That is absolutely so much better.
Do it.
So we're here, we're on the AAHOA show floor, and I've gotten to know you over the years by going to events such as this one and other ones. When you're at an event like this, which is bringing together either side of 6,000 of our closest friends here in Baltimore, what strikes you first up?
I think what strikes me is what everybody's talking about, what pulls everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like this time it's really, really clear, and probably it's been exacerbated by the pandemic, is the need for some restructuring in the brand industry.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you mean, though, by restructuring, and why do you feel like change is necessary right now? I mean, quite frankly, Tom, everybody's talking about we need to change, but we got to make the right types of changes to be able to make sure that all the stakeholders are accounted for.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of the major brands started 50, 60 years ago.
Right.
And, when we go back, if we go to the 1980s or the 1990s, everybody was making boatloads of money.
Right.
Occupancy.
Well, never me, just for the record.
Occupancies were high, ADRs were high. And the kind of costs that were involved with a lot of the major brands, 12.5%, 15% of GRR and the PIPs, they could all be absorbed. But, the world's changing. We've been through 20 years of change, and I don't know if owners really realize it.
Well, I'll tell you, Tom, as much as the hotel industry is known for quick reacting and making proactive change immediately, all right, that's just a joke. It does not change. It's very lumberous in terms of change. So we've got to do it now. But how?
It's seismic change. I mean, before 2011, there were little blips up and down in the occupancy rate. So we had about three big body blows that are really different and tough for the industry to recover. We had 9/11, then we had 2008, and now we've got the post 2020. But what's happened is, I don't know, from our perspective, is the industry, while it's driving more revenue than ever, the RevPARs are slowing down. They slowed down in 2019, and they're going to take a while, if they do get back to 2019, to recover. The reason I say that there's some need for everybody to restructure around the table is the costs that were set in stone 15 or 20 years ago aren't able to be absorbed by people now, because we've got costs on the top line on the brand side, but we've also got intense cost pressure in terms of labor, utility, insurance. So that's why I think if everybody's in this together, everybody kind of needs to give a little bit.
Right. So where do we give? Because again, we're talking about everyone getting squeezed. And this is something we talk about regularly on No Vacancy Live, which you can watch at noon Eastern time, 4 days a week, is the whole notion of you can only charge so much for a room. And yeah, we're expecting, RevPARs to increase, but expenses are increasing so much that profitability is actually lower, right?
Right. Well, you ask where do we give? And we completely support the 12 points of fair franchising. Not only do we
hold on, let's explain what that is for folks who don't know what AAHOA's 12 points are.
AAHOA has as a very wonderful public influence group put forth what they call the 12 points of fair franchising. These are a code of ethics, if you will, that they are asking all of the franchises to abide by. These are issues such as areas of protection. These are issues such as not taking rebates from mandated suppliers. So this has been in existence for quite a while. It's recently been updated. And I think that not only are the 12 points of fair franchising a really good place for everyone to start talking about common good, but also Reform Lodging, which has put forth some of their own concerns about what should be fair going forward.
Right. So what do you think should be fair, and how does that apply to what you're doing over at Magnuson Hotels?
Well, I think I kind of hope, because we have our name on the door and every
Right.
owner has my cell phone,
Yep.
we walk our talk. And what should be fair is we don't believe in pips.
Mm-hmm.
We believe in high standards, but we don't believe in pips. Owners are smart enough to make their own decisions.
Right. So what you're saying is you need to be of a certain quality to ensure that guests will be happy, but you're not going to get into the nitty gritty of demanding that they do a specific thing within a specific way with a specific vendor.
Absolutely. And another point of concern that the 12 points puts forth, as does Reform Lodging, and we agree, are the supplier rebates to the brands. That's not really necessary. If an owner can purchase the same Samsung TV from Best Buy, they should be able to do that. Or maybe they could win one here. You never know.
You never know. And I do want to thank Best Buy for giving us nice advertising last fall. I appreciate you guys over at Best Buy. But yeah, you're absolutely right there, Tom. So you did an amazing job building this company. It seems like you went from 0 to 1 billion hotels, like seemingly overnight, dude. Where are you located right now? And are you still living in London?
Yes. Magnuson Hotels was founded as an American company, and we like to think of it, even though we operate globally, as America is our home. We operate in all 50 states.
Cool.
We're franchised in all 50 states. We also operate in the UK and Europe. My home is in London, but increasingly more. I'm on the road everywhere to see owners, just to help them out.
Yeah. Did you travel a lot during this crisis period that we've had over the last couple of years?
Nobody did. We just traveled via Zoom and Teams, right?
What's it like getting accustomed to putting on real clothes again for you?
I used to at least think about what shoes am I going to wear when I'm at home, just so you can kind of mix it up a little bit.
Well, I stick with my tie-dye Crocs all the time. I find that to be a successful formula for me. What are you learning, though, now that you're getting back out there on the road, that hoteliers are most concerned about, other than they're getting squeezed on the prices of things?
What are owners most concerned about? I think owners are underneath that umbrella of where is my profitability are several lurking dragons. Obviously, there's what am I going to do about labor? There's how can I possibly sustain brand costs and OTA costs at the same time? Rising insurance rates nationally. I have to say they're way too high. They're practically extortionate.
I will. Speaking of extortion, on No Vacancy Live a couple of weeks back from when you were watching this, we had on Vimal Patel of Q Hotels, and he brought up that topic specifically, Tom.
Yes.
His insurance over the last couple of years has gone from like $400,000 to $800,000 to well over $1 million now for his 9 hotel portfolio. And it's becoming almost impossible to keep doors open if you have to pay so much money.
I couldn't agree more. You don't know what to say. I mean,
it's shocking, right?
It's shocking that some of these industries are more than oligopolies. They're practically corporate dictatorships as far as the level of control and impact they have on bottom line.
So what are we supposed to do then? I mean, I think we've got to get more involved. We've got to get the brands involved on some of this as well, because it's not just stuff that some of the major brands are doing. It's outside circumstances. And I think we all need to kind of band together to put a stop to the outrageous costs on certain things that have no reason to be priced with the way they're priced.
What are we supposed to do? I think it really comes down to owners being willing to make some change.
Right.
It has to start local. There are no angels. The big brands are not going to change their ways. The bigger the companies become, the more globalized they become. They are beholden to shareholders and not to franchisees or customers.
Right.
So education, as far as options for owners, is really what we're just trying to promote. That owners have a lot of different choices, not just Magnuson, but there are so many different options where owners can take matters into their own hand. They could get profitability. Even though things are under struggle, profits can be gotten. And, we need to look two places, on the top line and the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
We always say that, half of your profits are going to come from your demand, but equally, if you could really dig deep and take a fresh look at your bottom line, your cost structure,
right,
there are a lot of options on both sides. So it used to be 20, 25 years ago, the brand will say, I will save you. I'm your central point of everything. Now, owners need to take that apart. They need to disintermediate their structure, and they need to piecemeal out who are my vendors, who are my friends, and with some creativity and a lot of local marketing, any hotel can make it through this thing.
All right, so two things. Number one, disintermediate, best word used so far while we were here at AAHOAcon.
But do I get a 40-inch TV for that word?
Well, 43-inch, I hear from the announcements that we have to keep cutting out from this this recorded broadcast.
I could come up with a bigger word for a 60-inch.
So the second point that I was going to make has now left my brain. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure it was brilliant, Tom. So let's go straight to what you're doing over at Magnuson Hotels. Just give us a real quick understanding of what you're about and what makes you different before we sign off today.
Sure. Well, we're entering our 20th year. I mean, Glenn, you and I've known each other for a long time, actually, since we started. My wife and I started as an alternative to the chains with 12 hotels and a GDS connection out of our house.
Amazing.
And now we're worldwide, but we always stayed true to one promise to owners. If you need help, we're going to do what we say we're going to do.
Right.
And that's really the model that we've put forth. We're not the biggest hotel chain out there, but we take pride in what we do. I think one thing that we really stand behind is our numbers. We closed 2021 with a 40.5% RevPAR increase over 2019, which was the biggest year.
That's incredible.
It is. And it comes to a lot of the things that we talk about, that we've talked about on this podcast. Watching your top line, watching your bottom line, really working on your local market. So we're confident that owners can come out of this thing. We as a company have been through 9/11, we've been through 2008, and we've worked with owners successfully through very significant change, and together always finding a way on the other side.
Now, of course, you can find them at Magnuson Hotels, but is there any other number or address that you want to share with us now?
I think just MagnusonHotels.com is your best bet for finding us. And if you need to get a hold of me, my cell phone is 509-994-2048.
Wow, that's impressive. Giant word and giving out your cell phone number on this show. Tom Magnuson, always a pleasure to spend some time with you.
Fantastic to see you.
Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time in another special edition of No Vacancy News Today or No Vacancy Live, whatever you want to call it.